Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
And back in Georgia, a family in Washington County wants answers as to why their loved one died in law enforcement custody. News Channel 6's Renetta Dubois is digging deeper into this one. She's just back from Sandersville, and Renetta, there really is still a lot that we just don't know.
Yes, Brad, but here's what we do know. The GBI is investigating what happened when Uri Lee Martin encountered deputies from the Washington County Sheriff's Office Friday. Now, those officers responded to a suspicious person, but in the end, that dispatch call left Martin dead.
It was very difficult to watch.
This amateur video shot Friday in Deep Step, Georgia, now has one Washington County family calling for more answers. We spoke with Annie Gilbert Gibbons, who says her uncle typically kept to himself.
And it seems to be some inconsistencies.
The GBI reports Washington County Sheriff's deputies went to the location on Deep Step Road after someone reported a suspicious person in town. That person was 58-year-old Uri Lee Martin.
The video, in my opinion, didn't support what was going on.
GBI also reported that, quote, deputies deployed a taser, but after the altercation, he appeared to be in respiratory distress, unquote. He was arrested and handcuffed too. He died shortly after at the scene.
Why was a taser used, and to the extent that it was used?
Gilbert Gibbons tells me her uncle Uri Lee was walking here on Deep Step Road from his home in Milledgeville to visit family in Sandersville. Now, my cell phone's GPS walking directions say that is a 9.5-hour trip. She says she was very concerned about her uncle's health when he encountered law enforcement because it was 90 degrees plus that day.
The only thing that my mother stated was that someone from 911 called her to say he was out there walking on the side of the road.
Okay.
And my mother, she identified exactly who he was. She made it known that he did have a mental illness.
After speaking with the family today, they understand how this case may mirror other nationally known cases, but they are not advocating protests and riots. They want answers first. Now, a special agent with GBI tells me there was an autopsy performed on Martin in Atlanta, but the medical examiner is going to do more investigating before a cause of death is determined. We'll stick with this story. George.
Watch. 3 Georgia police officers indicted for tossing to death innocent man. Former sheriff's deputies Henry Lee Copeland, Michael Howell, and Red Scott have been indicted in connection with the death of Uri Lee Martin. On July 7, Martin was walking, presumably to see family. It was his birthday when he stopped to knock on someone's door asking for a glass of water. The person, not knowing Martin, told him to leave and then called the police. 3 officers responded to the call and found the 58-year-old Martin, who suffers from schizophrenia, walking down the street. According to those police, Martin didn't respond to them, and then a fight broke out between he and the officers. They tossed him and then he went into respiratory distress, at which time they called for EMS, who arrived too late to help Martin. But they didn't expect a passing motorist to have captured some of the event on video. After an initial investigation, the 3 officers were fired. Washington County Sheriff Thomas Smith released a statement on Thursday announcing his decision to fire the 3 deputies who were involved. Sheriff Smith says Washington County District Attorney Hayward Altman contacted him after the GBI released their findings of the case they've been looking into since early July. They found that the 3 officers involved, deputies Michael Howell, Henry L. Copeland and Red Scott, violated many of the Washington County Sheriff's Office's procedures. That was in October. On Tuesday, these charges came down from the Washington County District Attorney. Felony murder with the underlying offense of aggravated assault. Felony murder with the underlying offense of false imprisonment. Involuntary manslaughter with the underlying offense of reckless conduct. Involuntary manslaughter with the underlying offense of simple assault. False imprisonment. Aggravated assault. Reckless conduct. Simple assault. The jury didn't need much time to decide on the indictments, but as we all have seen, indicting law enforcement is considerably easier than convicting law enforcement. The charges stem from an encounter Martin had with the deputies as he walked along Deep Step Road in Washington County, when the deputies responded to a call of a suspicious person and eventually deployed a taser against him. The grand jury deliberated for 5 minutes before returning the indictments against the defendants. The officer's attorney says that the evidence doesn't support the indictments. One thing to remember: Yuri Martin committed no crime.
Three former Washington County deputies have been charged with the July tasing death of 58-year-old Yuri Martin. This afternoon, each were indicted on 2 counts of felony murder, 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 1 count of false imprisonment, 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of simple assault, and 1 count of reckless conduct. Chelsea Bimeford went to Washington County today and has more on this ongoing case.
That grand jury was presented with evidence by District Attorney Hayward Altman beginning at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning. This cell phone video sent to us by a viewer shows the moment when former Washington County deputies Michael Howard, Henry Copeland, and Rhett Scott were spotted on Deep Step Road with Mr. Martin. One of them tases him and he falls to the ground. Altman sought these charges against the deputies back in October. Today, that grand jury concluded that each man should be charged in the case.
The grand jury listened to the evidence, made the determination there was probable cause for these charges to proceed forward. The system as it is designed in the state of Georgia at this point in time is probably the best system in the country as far as handling these type cases. It worked as far as what the grand jury made a determination today.
One of the lawyers representing the Martin family, Francis Johnson, was also present in the courtroom this afternoon when the judge signed off on the indictments against each former deputy. He says Martin's family chose not to attend today's ruling because it's been a very difficult 5 months.
The family of Yuri Martin always believed that something went terribly wrong on that fateful day, and today a grand jury of citizens here in Washington County decided that a crime had been committed.
Mr. Johnson says his clients are pleased that the 3 former deputies have been indicted in this case. District Attorney Hayward Altman says that the grand jury only deliberated for a few short minutes before coming to their conclusion. In Washington County, Chelsea Bimeford, 13 WMAZ Eyewitness News.
The 3 deputies have been served a bench warrant and have until tomorrow morning to turn themselves in. They will be booked into the Washington County Jail and then transported to Swainsboro for their first appearance.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.